Today, we're diving into a popular post from the Reddit titled as "TIFU by complimenting a girl's skirt." This post received 73,878 upvotes. Posted by Tiny Meat Gang 1. The post reads as follows. Happened a couple weeks ago. I was at a party and saw a girl across the room. She was wearing a skirt, holding a drink in one hand and had the other hand in her pocket. I saw her skirt. Thought to myself how cool that skirt is having pockets. A lot of women I know complain about not having pockets, so this is a very progressive thing. A bit later, I got around to talking to her. I complimented her skirt, and how pockets in a skirt is great. She looked very confused. Said, "My skirt doesn't have pockets. Why would you think that?" I mentioned that I had seen her earlier with her hand in her pocket. Her face went bright red and revealed that her hand was amputated. What I thought was her hand in her pocket was her stump resting against her hip. I apologized immediately, but luckily she thought it was funny because she'd never heard that comment before. I'm still dying inside though. TLDR. Complimented a girl on having a skirt with pockets. Turns out she just didn't have a hand. A comment from user Onalim says, "But did you get those digits?" This comment received 2383 upvotes. A comment from user Fugaz says, "This reminds of one night in a festival in Bilbao when one of my friends was smoking a rolled cigarette and someone from behind asked us for some tobacco. My friend said yes and handed the tobacco and papers. The guy cleans his throat and asks quite timidly if we could roll him a couple cigarettes and my friend answers rudely, 'Dude, are you missing a hand or what? Roll them yourself FFS.' Then he taps my friend's shoulder with his stump. Never seen my friend apologizing so many times in a row." This comment received 14,102 upvotes. A comment from user Reptilesney says, "You did the best you could with the information you had on hand." This comment received 6939 upvotes. A comment from user Latenard says, "Ouch. But still, this is kind of a wholesome TIFU. At least you gave her a laugh." This comment received 12,813 upvotes. A comment from user Youngest Old Guy says, "I thought it was going in the direction that she doesn't have pockets, but she had her hand in her skirt to scratch her butt or something." This comment received 857 upvotes. A comment from user I Like Fuzzy Socks says, "She had you stumped." This comment received 4124 upvotes. A comment from user Fast Walking Short Guy says, "Dude, just own it. My buddy's new girlfriend showed up at my house once with one foot. We were getting drunk and high, and I knew my buddy had a foot fetish. I said, 'Kinda sucks you can't give him foot jobs, eh?' It was well received. They know they're missing an appendage. You don't have to pretend it still exists. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it's part of their reality." This comment received 1040 upvotes. A comment from user It's KAAAAAAYSHUH says, "You still didn't notice the missing hand once you approached her." This comment received 279 upvotes. A comment from user That _Mizzle_ guy says, "Dude, if you don't take this girl out and have a great time, possibly getting together, getting married, having 2.5 kids and a golden retriever, and sit together on the porch remembering that time you thought her hand was in her pocket but it turns out, it wasn't, but she thought you were cute. I'm gonna eat my hat." This comment received 1134 upvotes. A comment from user BKLYNSNOW says, "Wow, the way this post and the next one lined up in my app was pretty special." This comment received 121 upvotes. A comment from user SMOOTHWhisk3Y says, "This is pretty darn wholesome. She took that really well. What a way to meet someone. This is one of those stories you'll be able to tell your grandkids in the future. And who knows, the chick might even end up being their grandmother. Dude, you might just have to get to know her a bit more. This is too good. Shoot your shot?" This comment received 59 upvotes. A comment from user Partora says, "Moral of the story: don't ever assume women's clothing has evolved." This comment received 40 upvotes. A comment from user Whatmate says, "On the bright side, she can peg you without a strap-on." This comment received 126 upvotes. A comment from user Jeff P12 says, "Not quite r facepalm material, but you should crosspost this to r face stump." This comment received 29 upvotes. A comment from user Y27632 says, "Reminds me of a time I realized I had a student in a lab course I was teaching that was either missing a hand, or had some sort of serious hand injury or congenital defect. The course was a sort of 100-level, forensics, class, meant as an easy way for non-science majors to fill a requirement. One of the labs was fingerprinting. The students were supposed to take their own prints, and she came to me, looking worried, and asked if it was okay if she only printed one of her hands. At which point things finally clicked, and I realized she wasn't one of those people who wear impractically baggy sweatshirts to go with their Uggs, but that she only had one working hand, and had been self-consciously hiding it all along. She sat all the way in the back and never asked for help, which initially made me think she simply didn't care and was satisfied with turning in below average work. Felt like an asshole afterwards." This comment received 29 upvotes. A comment from user iMaddyMemes says, "Dude." This comment received 26 upvotes. A comment from user on_2_much_Adderall says, "Reading this post had stages lol. Stage 1. Another TIFU where a guy probably says something creepy to a girl about her clothes by accident and he feels bad about it. That's where this is so going to. Okay. He appreciates the value of pockets. I feel that. Maybe he said something to her about pockets and she misinterpreted it or something lol 3. Wow, I didn't expect that ending at all OMG. This comment received 71 upvotes. A comment from user an anonymous user says, "I'm glad that this TIFU didn't turn into an r stumpfuck post." This comment received 35 upvotes. A comment from user YoMamainPajamas says, "I'm always happy to lend a hand, but it turns out that you're so cute. You don't need one." This comment received 30 upvotes.